Alright folks, Vitek here from Wani. With us today we have Matthew Greywolf of a POWERWOLF. Man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Doing interviews all day and yeah, just in the flow.
Nice. Now you have a new record coming out, The Sacrament of Sin, in just a couple of weeks from now. POWERWOLF have always released quality metal albums.
Well, amazing. I mean, we're pretty excited, as you can imagine. I mean, it's just like 2 weeks to go until the album is out, or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
To be exactly. And yeah, we're pretty excited about finally, sharing all the music with the fans and getting all the reactions. And yeah, we've just played the first festival shows for this year after we had I think the longest live break in all our career, where we wrote and recorded The Sacrament of Sin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're doing great actually.
That's good. A break is needed to refresh your minds to write a great album, which I've already heard. So break is good.
Yeah, well, break is good, but sometimes it's pretty hard to really have a time off. I mean, I don't remember we actually had a real time off. It was like we started writing the album just when we came back from
Tour.
The last tour we had played, and we immediately switched to writing mode. And yeah, there was not much of a break, but in fact we allowed ourselves a longer period of time to write the album than we did in the past.
Right. That's really great. Now, listening to the album is you released Demons of the Girl's Best Friend, which is as a single. It is more accessible, and a lot of people, I remember going through the YouTube comments where I found that they were a little surprised with how it is, but they actually don't know that this is nothing compared to what you guys have on this album.
We were quite aware of the fact that for a lot of POWERWOLF fans, that song is not exactly what they were waiting for.
Right.
Because it was, sort of an untypical surprise. So it was rather like we felt that it would be interesting to just have an untypical song out as the first single, but there was like no plan to release a super accessible song. Like, I mean, it's still heavy metal, and it's
true,
not
true.
You should not I mean, there is no major radio airplay for that kind of music. So
Absolutely.
It was rather the way that. Sometimes things are pretty easy. We like the song.
Yeah,
we just had the feeling like, let's put this out as the first one. And yeah, we were quite aware that it was a song that people would discuss about.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And Killers with the Cross, Nightshade of Siberia are probably what fans would say kind of, it takes them back to the older sound of POWERWOLF. And I love that. It's got this bit, the gritty, the dark. It's got some really huge choruses, which is fantastic, and obviously a great solo on Nightshade of Siberia. That's something which is really great, because this is kind of a homage to your older sound.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have achieved to, have both of it on the Sacrament of Sin, like having a lot of, let's say, typical classic POWERWOLF elements. Mm-hmm. But at the same time having some new elements, some new ground on the album as well.
Right.
So yeah, I think in many ways it's the most diverse album so far. But nevertheless, I think any POWERWOLF fan can relate to that music.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the Incense and Iron, the fourth one on the album, and something that's one of my favorite, let me put it that way, because I'm a Sabaton fan, and I love Swedish music, and I really love, and I gotta admire Attila for doing something which is way beyond I could imagine. The chorus is absolutely terrific. I mean, he is a true classically trained vocalist, and he just nailed it. And I just wish the song was a little longer, because I couldn't help but put it on repeat a few times. Every time I heard it, it's got a really great feeling, and I'm sure fans are going to feel the same. I want to talk about what was the thought process behind this song.
Well, that's a very good question. Actually, this was one of the songs that came pretty easy. Mm-hmm. As far as I remember, the starting point for that song was when we started experimenting with this sort of folk elements, mm-hmm. like the bagpipes and the hurdy-gurdy,
right.
which is the basic melody line, and I felt like writing a melody with such instruments feels like pretty different from writing something on a guitar. I probably would not have written it using a guitar, and that was a pretty different kind of approach. And the rest of the song was, I think, pretty easygoing.
Nice, that's really great, and you are surprising people with a ballad in the form of Where the Wild Wolves Have Gone. Again, something that I don't expect from POWERWOLF, but you guys still managed to push yourselves. And as I keep listening to it does take a little bit time to get used to it, but once it comes up, once it grows on you, it really fits how the way the song is and where you've exactly placed it. Because the moment the song ends, you're again throwing that huge dark and heavy vibes in the form of Toskebet, which is the following track. So it's really great to see how there's a nice flow, a seamless flow of giving a little bit of a breather for fans, and then crack them up with Toskebet.
Right, and that's exactly what for me an album needs. Like it would be pretty much one-dimensional if we just had like 11 songs that are to the max all the time. And we had actually a lot of fun and a great time writing that first proper ballad. I mean.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a great way to even expand your sound and try different things rather than confining yourself within the boundary, thinking that fans may not like it. At the end of the day, when the risk is taken, when the rules are broken, that's how we progress.
Well, yeah, that's it. But we never do stuff like that just for the sake to progress or anything. It's like, I always tell people that the sound we play is just the natural sound that emerges when the five of us are playing together. And I don't really like the thought of, experimenting just to change anything. It's rather like, and I don't even like the word experimenting. It's rather like, let's write, and if something intuitively comes in, which is a new element or has some new dynamics, then now let's take it on. So that was what happened when we wrote Where the Wild Wolves Have Gone. I mean, we started writing this song only on piano and vocals, and at that time we didn't even know if this song would finally end up on the album. It was rather like Attila and me had a lot of fun performing it, so we developed it over the month, and finally we felt like, well, this is different, but it has a typical POWERWOLF vibe somehow. So so that's how those things are evolving.
Nice, very nice. I've never got an answer to this question, even though I've asked this to a lot of musicians who are from Sweden or say Germany. There's always that integrity towards metal music, towards heavy metal, which I find only in say Sweden or Germany, or even in Norway for example. I just don't understand. Is it because the culture that is there and what you guys have grown up and listening to, something you remain committed to the metal scene? I mean, take Creator for example, or even say Destruction, or any other German band, or even Swedish, say Dark Tranquility or Sabaton for example. There's something which really feels different than what I hear from the rest of the world, say America or Australia.
Well, it's a pretty hard question. I don't think I can help you with answering it. It's rather like, let me think about it for a second. Well, I can only speak for myself. I don't know how other musicians feel, but for me, I'm a metalhead since I was like 11 years old, and we do have this credo called "Metal is Religion," which of course is a bit with tongue-in-cheek, but on the other hand, it's super true, because finally that kind of music and the scene was what accompanied me since I was 11 years old.
Right.
Now, so in a way, I would say it's part of the of my socialization to be in the heavy metal scene, and it means much more than just music to me. And I could never imagine, sort of leaving this kind of subculture, because it's just how I grew up with, and it's just what I love, and which on the other side does not mean that I'm, that I restrict myself to only listening to very true heavy metal. I mean, there's great music outside the metal scene, obviously, and it's there's so much music to discover, but nevertheless, it's like to me, it's once you're a real metal fan by heart, you're it until you die.
Ah, bingo. Very well said. Now, there's always been a complaint from fans that POWERWOLF never comes to North America. Are you guys going to break that this time? Are you guys going to go there and play for your fans? Every time I come across, even my writer in North America has been waiting for you for a long time. So is this wish going to be fulfilled on this cycle?
Well, I really hope to. Well, that always depends on, tour offers and schedules and everything, but there's definite plans to finally come. But right now there's nothing confirmed, so I can't, promise anything, but all I can say is that we really wish to come to the US, because it's something of the greatest things being a touring musician is to play shows in a country you've not been before and meet the people and, getting to know the scene in that country. So, yeah, absolutely. I really hope we will make it this time.
That would really be great. Now, your live shows have always been a great experience, with respect to the outfit and the whole vibe that's on stage. It's always, it's artistic, to put it that way. Is that something which really has brought in more fans for you, who really appreciate the art that comes out of the music? Obviously, the music is great, but then you let's say you play on some tours as a support act, and then you find some some fans who didn't expect POWERWOLF to be this good, and then they end up becoming your fans. It's always a great feeling that how art can also bring in fans and then have this common agenda with the music as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I personally could not divide between just the music and the visual appearance, because to us, from the beginning on, it's been, like that overall concept. Mm-hmm. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's like we just want to deliver that whole experience of a show, which is not only the music, but, the best show you can set up and just take people on a journey for a while.
Absolutely.
And well, I've grown up with one of my first metal bands I was totally into was Iron Maiden. Mm-hmm. And needless to mention that they always put up those over the top shows. True. And so that was always in a way connected for me, like having heavy metal music and having a great show, and that's just what we want to deliver, and we constantly try to develop those things over the years.
Nice. We lost Vinnie Paul a few days ago. I mean, as I speak to you, this is my first time I'm speaking to you, so it gives me a good idea that you are a metalhead at heart, as you mentioned. So, especially grown up and listening to bands like Sabbath or Pantera or say Maiden, you always feel influence that helps you in achieving your goals as a musician. So when you have such musicians dying due to say some due to some health issues or natural deaths, it really impacts you as a musician. What was the feeling when I woke up, I heard Vinnie Paul is dead? It was shocking to me. I really felt sad because I've been grown up as a Pantera fan, and I'm sure for you as well, it might have in some form or the other impacted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was shocked as well. I mean, well, needless to say, what big impact he had on all the metal scene. I mean, I remember when I first listened to. I think it was Vulgar Display of Power, mm-hmm. and I was like totally blown away. I mean, by the tightness and everything that this album delivered, and I think there was nobody around in the early '90s who didn't have that shirt with the cover artwork from Vulgar Display of Power.
Right.
And so yeah, it's a big shock to see those people being not around anymore. It's like hard to imagine, definitely, but. On the other hand, to me, they're not completely gone. The music lives on, and
absolutely.
That's what
the legacy lives
still
on.
Stays. And if you see how many people have great memories, and on how many people this band and these musicians left big impact, that's like a wonderful legacy in a way.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now you have tours coming up in Europe and UK as well, so I'm sure that's going to be great. If you had to sum up the record, Sacrament of Sin, in one sentence, what would you say?
Whoa, how long can a sentence be?
I'll let you decide that.
No, I would just say, well, it's a great heavy metal album. Mm-hmm. Give it a listen. if you're a metal fan by heart, you will probably find stuff you will like.
Nice. I totally agree with you. Well, good luck with the release once again. I really appreciate you took out some time today. And yeah, let's
Right.
let's
You're welcome.
wait for the release and see how fans are gonna. I'm not sure they're gonna love it, but yeah, again, it's a waiting game for them.
All right.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself, buddy. Bye bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.